Berger set to kick this game off for the Minnesota Vikings. And deep back, they've got Tyrone Hughes brought back to electrify the special teams. And he's kicked off a lot of games Berger has for this Viking team. It's the Vikings and the Bears, and here we go. And clothesline is Hughes at the 16-yard line. He was racked pretty good by Leonard Wheeler. Well, Eric Kramer turned 33 on Thursday. They didn't think he'd be the guy right now because they're so hung up on Rick Meyer. But Kramer indeed is the quarterback. And he'll have a patchwork offensive line. Beat up Heck, Perry, Valerio, Berger, and James Big Kent Williams, all with an assortment of injuries. In the backfield, the NFC's second leading rusher is Harris, coupled with Tony Carter. Ingram and Kroll are the wide receivers. And Keith Jennings is the tight end. Curtis Conway out with the shoulder. Chris Penn is out with the concussion. On their own 16-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. Kramer goes right to work and throws a pass, which is caught out to the 22-yard line by Ricky Prohl. And a flag has been thrown where he caught the pass. It's a gain of 8 as it stands right now. Our referee today is Jerry Austin as you take a look at Dennis Green, the coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
Face mask on the tackle, 5 yards from the end of the run. First down.
It's a base 4-3 defense for the Minnesota Vikings, and that's what Kramer will be shooting at today. This defense of the Vikings is number 27 in the NFL. On the line, Smith, Fisk, Randall, a good one, and Derek Alexander. In the linebacking core, Edwards, the former Cowboy, Brady, and Ed McDaniel. Brady leads them in tackles. Fuller and Washington, the corners. Orlando Thomas and Robert Griffith are the safeties. Base 4-3. First down and 10 near the 30-yard line. They blow that play dead before it's allowed to get going.
Well, with the tight end going across the field in motion there, Keith Jennings, I think Andy Heck, the left tackle,
ball starts. Number 75, 5 yards. It's still first down.
The left side of the line, Todd Perry and Andy Heck both moved with the tight end motioning in behind him.
Well, this place can be very loud.
Well, with the Minnesota gets it going, you can see there the left tackle coming off the ball before the snap. That's Andy Heck. They also called it on Todd Perry.
So move it back 5 yards. It's first down and 15 yards to go. The 24-yard line, the tight end Whitnide in motion. And the handoff goes to Raymond Harris, number 2 in the NFC and back of Barry Sanders in rushing and rushing attempts. They run him a lot. He's probably getting a little bit worn out.
And you know, he's getting tired. I think you get a little leg wear when you run that much. He took a full shot from Robert Griffin, the strong safety for the Minnesota Vikings. An excellent strong safety on the run for us at a full speed, like a 8-9 yard full speed run at him on touchdown block.
So it's second down and 13 for the Chicago Bears from their own 26. Opening series of the game. We have no score, minute and a half gone. Here comes the blitz, picked up, back to pass goes Kramer, hit and sacked, and a fumble on the play, and the Chicago Bears have recovered at the 23-yard line. Todd Berger left on the loose ball.
Well, the Vikings came after him. Brady was faking the blitz, but instead 59, who is Dixon Edwards, he runs the blitz. They picked the blitz up, but they turn then the ends loose on the outside. John Randall, who else? John Randall working the outside shoulder of Todd Perry. John Randall is the best defensive tackle in the National Football League. Number 1.
Fullback Carter picked up the blitz, but nobody picked up Randall, so he gets a sack right there. His 10th of the season. It's third down and 15 for Eric Kramer. Pretty good time in the pocket. Throws a pass, and it's incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Ryan Whitnide. So the Bears on their first possession have got a punt. There's Leonard Wheeler. He's the nickelback, and the former Cincinnati Bengal comes in with a nice coverage play.
And when they come in with the nickel, he's a guy that will take slot, will take motion. Leonard Wheeler, they have total confidence in him on the toughest assignment, and that's the slot back.
Confidence is something the Bears do not have on Todd Sauerbrunn, who will be kicking off to David Palmer. He leads the National Football League in punt return average.
Well, we watched a highlight film on him this week in the Minnesota practice facility. Watch his cuts now. Wow.
Picked up by Palmer, takes it out to the 45-yard line, and he is brought down after an 8-yard return and a 39-yard punt by Todd Sauerbrunn. So we'll see the Vikings scoreless in Minneapolis.
Seltzer. And by Texaco, a world of energy.
Downtown Minneapolis, and there's beleaguered head football coach for the Chicago Bears, Dave Wannstedt, now in his 5th year. And Dennis Green, his 6th season, been in the playoffs for the last 5 years. From their own 45, first down and 10 yards to go, and Johnson going down the sideline and incomplete for wide receiver Chris Carter. It'll be 2nd down and 10 yards to go, and Brad Johnson in his first full year as the starting quarterback. He was the apprentice under Warren Moon for so many years. 6th-rated quarterback in the National Football League. A great line. A couple of number ones on the tackle, Stussy and Stringer. In the middle, the great Randall McDaniel Christie and David Dixon, the former Cowboy. Ford and Evans in the backfield. Robert Smith again out. The best wide receiving tandem in the NFL, Reed and Carter. And the tight end, the former Raider, Andrew Glover. 2nd down and 10 from the 45 for Johnson. Looks one way, nobody there. Dumps it off as he was whacked, and the pass is eventually caught and brought out near the original line of scrimmage, and it was caught by Mo Williams. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. Chicago with the 43 look. Reeves, Simpson, Flanagan, and Mark Thomas takes the place of Alonzo Spellman and John Theory, both now out for the foreseeable future. Minner, Cox, and Ron Cox are the linebackers, and in the secondary, Harris and Carter are the cornerbacks. John Mangum and Marty Carter are the safeties. Base 4-3. David Palmer in the backfield with a 3rd and 10 for Brad Johnson. 3 wide receivers deployed. Johnson to the sideline, and it was caught. That was a caught in bounds. It was in for a 1st down. Chris Walsh gains 11 yards, and of course it was Walsh who made the game-winning touchdown reception in Chicago for the Vikings earlier this year.
And what a great throw by Brad Johnson. Walsh comes in on the 3rd down. He's the additional guy. Watch him get his feet in. What a great throw. Nice job getting the feet down inside by Walsh.
So a gain of 11 on 1st down, and the handoff goes to Charles Evans, a former 11th round draft choice out of Clark, and he picks up a quick 6 yards running up the middle. That'll set up 2nd down and 4.
And the leading tackler on the Bear team is the safety, John Mangum. And that's not good because nobody else is stopping these people getting a hand on the backs, and they're coming clean on Mangum. It's not the fact that he's a gang tackler and he's up inside. The running backs all year are getting clean to the safety.
2nd down and 4. And the handoff goes to Leroy Horde, playing with 2 broken ribs. And he's tackled near the line of scrimmage. Fractured him a couple weeks ago against the Buccaneers. And he takes a pretty good hit.
Watch Ron Cox on the outside come outside the tight end. Good play right there and cuts him down. The pulling guard, Randall McDaniel, went past Cox. Should have tried to put a helmet on him. Allowed Cox to make the big play. That's Ron Cox, not Ryan Cox.
The Vikings need to get inside the Chicago 34. They've got it 3rd down and 7 from the Chicago 41. Johnson with time throws a pass, and it's caught. Chris Carter, 1st down to the Chicago Bears 27-yard line. His 57th catch of the season, and that makes him good for number 3 in the NFL. He picks up 13 yards right there.
Well, the Bears got off and played double coverage, so they only had a 4-man rush. With a 4-man rush going against such good offensive line, the best center, Jeff Christie and Stussy and McDaniel, you can't get pressure. Well, you can't be any tighter coverage. They were all over. They just stuck the ball right in there. But they went to a 22 zone coverage, something the Bears have not been playing.
From Chicago's 28, 7th play of the drive. Play action by Johnson, going deep and incomplete. Looking for Chris Carter again. 3rd time he has thrown to Carter, and that play will draw a flag at the 10-yard line. John Mangum, the safety, was there covering along with Marty Carter.
One official's pointing to Minnesota, and one official's pointing to Chicago. It was a sort of a play-action roll. The backside guard, Randall McDaniel, went on the roll with the quarterback.
They're going to wipe it away.
Ball was uncatchable.
There is no pass interference on the play. The pass is overthrown and uncatchable. 2nd down.
A good job by another official running into the discussion. There's, you can see the guard coming all the way across. Oh, I wouldn't say that was uncatchable. Chris Carter did not put his arms up, but that was a catchable ball, and that was John Mangum coming all the way back for the deep out route. Safety for the Bears, getting a piece of it.
So an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 yards to go from the 28-yard line of Chicago in a scoreless first quarter. A little more than 5 minutes gone. Johnson on 2nd and 10 throws. Chris Carter the catch. Among 3 Chicago Bears, he makes the grab, gains 9 yards. He's close to a first down as Barry Minner, the outside linebacker, brought him down.
Well, Carter has a little motion, slow motion. He never runs fast. It looks like Ahmad Rashad. He's going to motion over here, and he never gets into a full sprint, just comes out real slow. This is kind of play Ahmad Rashad would make, and they throw him a little curl. Easy route. Walt Harris didn't come up and jump it because it was only like a 5-yard catch, and then he ran well without the ball. With the ball, I mean.
3rd down and about a yard. Reed was in motion. Johnson, who at 6'5", plays more like a tight end than a quarterback, hurdles ahead, gets near the 15, and picks up a Viking first down that sustains a pretty good-looking drive to begin the game.
The quarterback has to make the decision where to take the sneak. And as you look at it, there's nobody in this gap. There's a guy in this gap, so he'll go where there's no down person. By a down person, a defensive lineman. He ran right, that's called the bubble. He ran right at the soft bubble.
And he spread people out, too. Upcoming is the 10th play of the drive in a scoreless first quarter. About halfway through, 1st and 10. And Leroy Horde takes it up the middle for a couple yards. Signed in November of '96. Started a Pro Bowl in '94. And in between, he's played with Cleveland, Baltimore, Carolina, and now the Vikings.
Has 2 broken ribs, as we talked about in the open. Is not wearing any protection and did not take what is known as Dr. Kane for pain. Dr. Novocaine said he would not take a shot. So if they get to him, he'll feel it.
Yeah, the thought of a needle into your ribs does not sound very good, does it?
Thought of a needle anywhere doesn't sound very good.
2nd down and 8. Opening drive for the Vikings today. Johnson to the sideline, caught Chris Carter. Working on Walt Harris. Carter makes another catch. That one picks up 6 yards on the play. 3 receptions by Carter on this drive alone. Now the Vikings closing in.
Well, he's the only wide receiver in the game. They have 2 tight ends, 2 backs staying in the block. So it's a 1 receiver route on a 3-step. So all they're doing is saying to Chris Carter, you beat Walt Harris. Everybody else is in the blocking scheme. And, of course, Chris Carter, future Hall of Famer. He's proved he belongs in a Hall of Fame jacket. He can beat the one-on-one coverage.
David Palmer's in the backfield. The pitch to Palmer. 3rd down and 2. He'll breeze into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota Vikings. As they buzzsaw the Chicago defense, ripping it to shreds on their opening drive of the game.
Well, the Bears were in a blitz, and they were blitzing the opposite side where the toss sweep went. The problem when you do run a blitz, if something breaks loose on you, the Bears are blitzing on this side, and they have this covey. They have 3 people. There's nobody out here for the run force. Somebody should be all the way out there. There's nobody there because of the call. Easy touchdown.
And the extra point by Eddie Murray, number 241 in a row. So David Palmer comes up with his first touchdown of the season, and Wanstead's got an early game heading. 5th time in the last 7 games the Vikings have scored on their opening drive. They've scored first in every game so far this year.
And they got into what would be called a trips, and Chris Walsh was the outside man all bunched in. The Bears had nobody on the outside. They had no in. So with Chris Walsh outflanking all the Bears, made it an easy touchdown.
Mitch Berger will kick off once again. And here's Tyrone Hughes, the former New Orleans Saint, from the 1-yard line for Chicago. Takes it right up the middle and gets a great return out near the 35-yard line for the Bears. They'll need all the help they can get today. 33-yard return. 7-0 Minnesota. Chicago set to get it for a 2nd time. They kick back off to Chicago.
Here's the wedge, and you want to grow up. If you're sitting in your living room and you want to be a wedge buster, watch what happens to the wedge buster. Wow! They not only knock him down and run over him, they're not even polite enough to say, excuse me.
Who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, but Wedge Busters, right?
The life of a wedge buster, you earn every dollar you get.
special teams today, Jerry, are just unbelievable, aren't they?
Special teams are such a big key in pro football because the continuity of the offenses and the defenses change with free agency.
Bears looking for some continuity. A great block by Carter. Sprung the running back, Raymond Harris, free on the left side before he is drilled by Ed McDaniel. It's a gain of 4. Right now, let's go back to our Fox Television Center in Hollywood McDonald's game break and say good afternoon to James Brown.
And good afternoon, Kerry. Kerry, my goodness. Kevin and Jerry, take a look at Mike Allstott. He says good afternoon to Atlanta. You can't stop the big fella as he makes it in the pay dirt. 7-0 Bucks. Hey, Kevin, tell Jerry don't beat up on me about that.
That's the hybrid between Kevin and Jerry, right? Kerry. It's second down and 6. Raymond Harris up the middle and maybe carving out a yard into a very good Viking defensive front led by John Randall. And what did you say earlier in the last series? You think he might be the best defensive tackle in the NFL?
There's no doubt in my mind. John Randall, a guy that went to the Vikings as a free agent. Here's a guy that really had a signing bonus of $5,000. John Randall played his whole first year for $32,000. You got to love what he's done. He's come up now to become the best defensive tackle in the National Football League.
4 consecutive Pro Bowl starts for Randall. Here's a 3rd and 4. Kramer out of the pocket with the throw, and it's caught by his wide receiver, Ricky Prohl, and he has the first down. He picks up 5 yards, and the former Seahawk and Arizona Cardinal comes up with the first down reception.
And it's a rollout. It's a rollout by Kramer rolling away from John Randall. And John Randall causes you to change your offensive philosophy, and he makes you move your quarterback. Good job by the Bears moving Kramer away from John Randall.
First Chicago injury has been reported. Tight end Ryan Wetnight, who is also doubling as a fullback at times. A concussion. They don't know if he'll return today. On 1st and 10, the sweep, Raymond Harris. Trying to cut the corner, but is shut beautifully by strong safety Robert Griffith, who leads the secondary in tackles for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, Robert Griffin is as good a safety as there is on the run force. This is how he opened up the game. But I think you're playing into the Vikings' hands when you run sideways. The Bears are running a sweep. The Vikings are as fast on defense as Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't run sideways. You got to go up and after them.
Former free agent who made this team. Part of the pretty good-looking secondary for the Vikings. 2nd and 13. Brady on the blitz was picked up in a quick slant caught by the spinning Ricky Prohl. And that's how he's made his trademark in the NFL with catches like that. Picks up 13 yards. That's his 3rd reception today.
And what you like about him, when he caught that football, he was about 4 yards shy of the first down. And Ricky Prohl has played at enough places, and he's enough of a professional. He knew he had to drag the corner with him. He had Fuller on him, and he knew he had to drag for that first down. Nice job by Ricky Prohl.
Prohl, of course, is starting today for Curtis Conway. Conway broke his collarbone in the preseason, and they feel it never really healed, and his left shoulder now is a problem along with the collarbone. On 1st and 10, Raymond Harris, the former Buckeye from Ohio State, trying to turn the corner. Ed McDaniel is there, and a meager gain of 1 for Raymond Harris, a former 4th-round pick, and the 16th running back drafted back in 1994.
And here's a wide run on the Vikings. I don't think this is smart football. They're going to run to the right hand of your television screen and try to run sun. Watch the purples. Watch everybody in purple. Too fast. Jason Fisk is as fast. He's the nose tackle. He's as fast as the guy with the football. You can't run east and west on the Vikings.
On the Viking 43, 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Harris again. It was just like a sledgehammer with Harris up the middle, Harris over the side. That time he picks up 5 before Jeff Brady, the leading tackler for the Viking defense, makes the stop.
And Jeff Brady's another guy, been cut by 5 football teams, and he's worked himself into being an excellent middle linebacker. Not big.
Pittsburgh, Green Bay, St. Louis, San Diego, and Tampa Bay is who he's played for.
Wow. And then Ed McDaniel rolled over the top. The Vikings have 3 excellent linebackers. Dixon Edwards, Jeff Brady, Ed McDaniel, all 3 of their linebackers are excellent.
And I can't believe that. 83 runs of less than 10 yards. 3rd and 3, 8th play of the drive. Kramer with a nice, easy stroke to Raymond Harris. He picks up a first down there. Pretty good looking drive by the Chicago Bears. They're at the Viking 32. Rookie Dwayne Rudd out of Alabama makes the stop. That's a pickup of 6 on the play.
Minnesota is playing the run. Nice job by the Bears. Watch the Vikings. They're all going to bunch in here. Here's the man's going to get the football. But they are playing run all the way. Nobody on the man of the flat, and that was Raymond Harris. They should not have been playing run because of the offset in the formation. The formation should have told them that it was a pass. Should have told the Vikings.
Bears began this drive at their own 34. Now at the 32 of the Minnesota Vikings. 1st and 10 handoff, and it goes to Raymond Harris. He somehow squirts free and tumbles to the 25 with the pickup of 7. He found the crack, and he weaseled his way through.
And Todd Perry's the pulling guard for the Bears. He's the left guard. When Todd Perry pulls, then it's up to the back to follow the guard or go up inside. Watch Todd pull. He comes around. Nice kick-out block on Jeff Brady, and up right off of that block comes Raymond Harris. That's inside football, tackle to tackle against the Vikings. That's where you got to earn your day's pay if you want to run the ball on.
Perry is playing with a bad hamstring. Here's a 2nd down and 3 from the Viking 25. 7-0 Minnesota's on top. Looking at a blitz. It's picked up nicely by both running backs, and that will send Kramer's pass to the end zone. There's a flag. It's incomplete, as he was going for wide receiver Bobby Ingram, who is stride for stride with Dwayne Washington, number 20.
Well, Dwayne Washington is not only a hitter, not only an excellent run force corner, he had excellent cover. One time he was he let Bobby Ingram open a little bit, but he recovered, came back, and swatted that football.
Pass interference. Number 20 of the defense in the end zone. 1st down on the 1-yard line.
But Dixon Edwards was in the blitz, and then you called it. The backs did a good job picking up the blitz. Gave the quarterback time. Oh, I don't know. Unless if his left hand had Ingram by the arm, then that's a good call. But from that shot, I got to go with the official. He's closer than we are.
Less than a minute to play here in the first quarter. The Viking defense has been tough in the first quarter of games all season long, allowing 1 first-quarter touchdown this season. 2 tight ends. 1st and goal for the Chicago Bears. Around the corner block, it's Raymond Harris, and touchdown Chicago Bears.
And the Bears, where are they running, Kevin? Right up inside. This team of the Vikings is fast, so you take it right up at them. They're going to run the lead. Watch the fullback lead. He's coming first. Nice block by the whole line. Big Cat Williams and Todd Berger moved the Vikings off the ball. That touchdown goes to Todd Berger and Big Cat James Williams.
The NFC's only perfect kicker, Jeff Jager, with an extra point. This season, he is 12 of 12 in PATs, 10 of 10 in field goals. But this one was authored by Raymond Harris, a lead block by Carter. Harris ties the game for the Chicago Bears. We're back in the Dome in Minneapolis. Vikings got on the board first. Chicago matched them, and we're tied at 7 on a 10-play Chicago drive. Raymond Harris touched the ball, either running it or receiving it, 8 of the 10 plays.
That's feeding the stud, but on that touchdown, for you people in Chicago, go out the refrigerator and write down James Big Cat Williams on that touchdown. He mauled the Vikings defensive line.
Jeff Jager will be kicking off. And deep back will be Mo Williams, young player from Kentucky. Picked up at the 3-yard line by Williams. He started last week, his first start in the NFL, and he returns this kickoff out to the 22-yard line. Well, the Chicago Bears have won the last 4 games in this series here. Here's Chris Card talking about the rivalry.
We had a very close ball game with them in Chicago on the 2nd game of the season, so they're going to be fired up thinking that we stole the victory from them. So it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a hard-hitting ball game. Anytime you play any team in the Central Division, it's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to be physical.
The visiting team has won the last 4 games in this series. The Vikings begin at 1st down and 10 yards to go. Here comes Leroy Horde trying to climb over the right side and blow down at about the 21-yard line by Ron Cox. He was lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Leroy Horde, 8 years out of Michigan.
Well, the Vikings running away from the slot formation. They put the two wideouts to their left to get the Bears to play a coverage all the way there and then run back to the soft side.
And that's the end of the first quarter, and we're tied at 7. Dave Wanstead, Chicago Bears. Dennis Green's Minnesota Vikings. And Fox's presentation of the NFL. We'll be back following in Minneapolis. 7-7, we are tied. And we begin the second quarter with the second 11 for the Minnesota Vikings from their 21-yard line. Play action by 6'5" Brad Johnson. Throws to the sideline, incomplete. It's the first time he's gone to Jake Reed, the NFL's number 9 receiver. It's incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 11.
This is Tom Carter. One-on-one coverage. Puts a hand on him there late. Grabs a little bit. Gets away. Good close coverage. Really, Jake Reed should have caught that ball.
3rd down. He is an outstanding quarterback, and on their first series, they went 4 of 4 on 3rd downs. It's 3rd and 11. They got to get out to the 32-yard line. Palmer is in motion. And the pass knocked down, incomplete. The coverage of David Palmer was applied by Marty Carter. Well, thought there might have been some interference. No flag, no call. And the Vikings have got a punt for the first time.
That was unusual. The ball came out on that quick inside throw, and the Bears got their good timing. They timed it up, so there's no flag. Looked like he was hitting the receiver just as the ball got there.
Former Chicago Bear Mitch Berger will be punting to Tyrone Hughes, who is back inside the Chicago Bear 40-yard line. Great punt. Hughes from the 39, and the Viking special teams are there. The Viking special teams have improved dramatically this season upon a 40 yards return of 8. Bears will get it back. We're tied at 7.
Nike Play Corps presents.
They told him that, you know, he couldn't quarterback. He was too overweight, and he came to me and said, Mom, I can get my weight down. I know I can do it because it really depends on me eating. And I said, well, you don't have to. You can play the line. He said, well, I want to be quarterback. So he was determined. So he started eating light and started, you know, working out more. And now he's at the weight to be a quarterback.
Come on, you got to push yourself. You got to push yourself. You got to push yourself.
Michael Jordan is CEO Jordan.
Halftime at the United Center with the Bulls leading 62. Hatfield.
Get the PE
Approved.
ASAP.
Proceed. Authorized. Denied.
Give me the Nikkei close and the Detroit score. Double mesh?
Double mesh.
Double mesh.
Double mesh.
Double mesh.
Double mesh. Make the logo bigger. And the second half is about to begin here at the United Center. Michael Jordan of the Bulls starting.
MJ, those New Air Jordans?
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the coaches of Nike Play Corps. By Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of car. By Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide. And by Die Hard, America's most trusted battery. Die Hard, what's under your hood?
One of the most picturesque cities in America, Minneapolis, Minnesota, with Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. 8 rushes and 6 passes. That surprised you on the play selection?
No, I think they're mixing it up real well. And now they're running straight at him. They got to run straight at him. Oh, no.
And Kramer is picked off by Corey Fuller at the 44-yard line. So just when the Bears looked like they were grabbing some momentum against the first-place Vikings, Kramer throws a pick, his 7th of the year, and the Vikings take over at their own 44.
Well, let's watch the wide receiver and see if he stopped on the route. If he did not, Kramer threw the ball right. Oh, yeah, I can see right there. Bobby Ingram, I think, was supposed to keep on coming, and he sat down. And Kramer thought that 81, Bobby Ingram, was going to continue with the route, and that's why there's nobody near the football other than Corey Fuller.
And Corey Fuller, his first interception of the season. 1st and 10. Little swing pass. Nice catch made by Leroy Horde. Breaks the tackle. High. Steps it past the 50-yard line and down to the 47 of Chicago. A wonderful gain of 9. Basically on his own. Brian Cox made the stop.
Brian Cox made it. Brian Cox was coming from an inside fill. They call that chasing him inside out. And Horde tries to go up and over. It takes a pretty good whack. Horde's going to try to jump over Carter, not knowing the inside fill was coming. He never got to Carter because of Brian Cox hitting him from the inside out.
Evans and Horde in the eyes. 2nd down. And we'll call it 2 from the 48 of the Chicago Bears. Handoff goes to Leroy Horde, and he is close to a 1st down near the 46-yard line. We're in the 2nd quarter. Just a minute into the 2nd quarter, and we're tied at 7, the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, I think the Chicago Bears have been studying the film. This is an I formation. Watch the safety walk up. He knows exactly where the play's going before the snap. Look at him walk up. Bam! Nobody to block him. Nice job, John Mangum, and that's what you call pre-game scouting, studying film. He knew where the ball was going before the ball was ever snapped.
Sets up a 3rd and 1, and Evans with the big hole, and somewhat of a surprise handoff. First back through in the eye, rumbles down to the 40-yard line, picks up 7 yards, chopped down by Marty Carter. Another Viking 1st down.
And Evans getting a few carries this game. Not usually the man, but the up back in the eye is the guy that hits the line the quickest. So when you give it to the fullback, you're able to make that quick cut from Clark College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Only had 21-2 already. His most notable carry, though, is the touchdown run against the team this year, 10-6. Evans again. And he steamrolls a couple Chicago defenders, getting down near the 35. We'll give him a gain of 4, setting up 2nd down and 6 to go.
I'll tell you exactly what's going on. Jeff Christie, the best center, Randall McDaniel, Stussy, all-pro tackle, are all big people, and they're going against the injured small defensive line that's not stunning and blitzing. So that's why you see the fullback getting the ball. They're getting such a good push on the left side.
Chicago's defensive line depleted. Only 5 of 8 linemen who started the year still on the roster. No Spellman, no Theory. 2nd down and 6. Deep drop back. Hit and brought down. Brian Cox, his 2nd sack this year. His 2nd sack this year against the Minnesota Vikings.
And they didn't go with the 4-man rush this time. They added a little bit. Bring Brian Cox along with the defensive line. He's lined up over the tight end like an outside linebacker. And he jumped inside of Corey Stringer. Corey Stringer has one big problem this year. He's gaining weight every game. And so Brian Cox is quicker. He's not as big, as powerful, as strong. But Corey Stringer hasn't learned to say those 2 words he needs to learn. I'm full. He's going to eat his way out of the league. He's getting so big, so heavy, he can't play as good as he used to.
3rd and 13. They set up the screen, and David Palmer gets a block, and there he goes. Close to a 1st down. He is near the Chicago 31. Brian Cox chased him from behind. He picks up 12, and Jerry, that'll set up 4th down and about a yard to go for the Vikings. What do you do?
Well, I'm surprised here that they're going to kick. The Vikings are coming out to kick. Nice play here, a little slide out of the backfield. Brian Cox all the way downfield. You got to slap the right foot into the left foot in open field. He reached up with his arm. He slapped the right heel into the left foot.
Chicago's defense. Cox is coming off a 14 tackle performance last week against the Redskins. So the Bears are going to think things over. Your screen called the timeout because the Bears were not in their field goal defense special team alignment and gave the Vikings time to think. Now the Vikings are going to go for it.
But during the timeout, I think the Vikings decided to do the right thing, and that's go for it.
4th down and about 2. From the Chicago 32, Johnson to the air. And he's got the 1st down. David Palmer with the block down the sideline is inside the Chicago 10. The timeout comes back to bite the Bears. It's a gain of 23 yards. Walt Harris knocked David Palmer out of bounds.
Well, the formation told the Bears, with the back sitting here, there's no backs. There's no way you can run the football. So it's just called an arrow or a shoot to the sideline. Nice blocking downfield after the catch. Jake Reed adding more yards to the play.
8th play of the drive for the Vikings coming up. They got it on an interception of Eric Kramer. They've got it first down and 10 yards to go inside the 10. And this is Charles Evans. He takes it for a couple yards near the 7-yard line, setting up second down and goal. We're tied at 7 here in the second.
Kyle Reeves stops this from being a bigger play. Kyle Reeves comes off the right side and makes the tackle. Watch Carl. He's on touch, and he has to close that hole down because he's going to make the cut away from him. Nice job by Carl. If he was not hustling, if he wasn't running full speed, that play was going to break.
Second down and goal from the 7. Palmer becomes the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Johnson, the pump fake, and it was caught for a Viking touchdown. David Palmer, his second touchdown today.
Well, that was close to being out of bounds, and Palmer must have done an excellent job of getting his feet down. I couldn't tell from where I'm standing. I'm at the 50-yard line whether he was in or not, but nobody argued it, so he must have got him down. Looks like they're both in.
And Eddie Brewery's extra point attempt is in. So in a drive authored by David Palmer, he gets a 7-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Brad Johnson, all set up on a Chicago interception. It's the Vikings by a touchdown. Chicago Bear turnover. It's 14-7 Minnesota. 9-play drive. David Palmer was the key on the drive. He had 1 reception for 23 yards, and then he got the subsequent 7-yard touchdown pass. Mitch Berger will set the kickoff for the Vikings. The first place Minnesota Vikings tied with Green Bay. Tyrone Hughes has got 8 kickoff records in the NFL, is up the middle and moves his way out near the 27-yard line. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
And watch Palmer's feet. This is why I couldn't call it from the 50-yard line. You'll see this is overhead. Watch both feet. This is pro ball. Both feet have to be in. He has the ball. The right foot. Oh, that is close.
Wonderful catch.
How about the camera work? Only Fox has the greatest cameraman in all of football.
You know, that view, Jerry, from right above the field, I guess as a coach, that would be, usually get the sideline view or the end zone view, but this is an overhead view.
It's a great shot, isn't it? Added that for your pleasure today.
Well, Chicago coming off an interception from their own 27-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. There goes a flag, and there goes a pass to fullback Tony Carter, who is ridden out of bounds by Jeff Brady. Well, let's see what the flags, one on the far side, one on the near side, are all about. As it stands right now, it's a gain of 11 yards.
Well, the Vikings blitzing more than I've seen them, and they were blitzing outside linebacker Ed McDaniel, which put Jeff Brady man-to-man all by himself on the back, coming out of the back.
Offside, number 59 of the defense. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
59 is Dixon Edwards.
Blitzing from the opposite side linebacker. You can tell the Vikings' plan when they started this game with Dixon Edwards was to disrupt Kramer, get after Kramer.
One of the things the Vikings have tried to do, Jerry, in particular over the last 5 games, is simplify their defense. They said it was too complicated early on. Teams were running at them, throwing at them, torching their secondary. Now they've simplified things.
Sometimes you get it simpler and your players mentally then are able to play better.
So it's a 1st and 10 from the 37. And the handoff up the middle and a gain of 4 for the Chicago Bears. Raymond Harris takes it up.
And that was just a 4-yard gain, but that was a statement. That was one-on-one blocking. There was no stunning, no looping, no blitzing. And it was, are we better than you? And I got to say, Todd Perry, Andy Heck, Todd Berger, they mustered up, got a little push in there, and sent a message back to the Vikings on that run.
Second down and 6. Kramer with the play action. Carter has it, breaks a couple tackles, and because he did that, he picks up the first down as he digs his way to the 49, picks up 8 when Jerry probably should have gained just a couple yards.
And you know, early in the year, we watched Tony Carter, and he dropped balls. He didn't look like a good receiver, Watch him in motion, goes in motion, number 30, and he swings out on a flare. Nice pickup on the blitz by Raymond Harris. Now he's one-on-one. Gets away from Dixon Edwards. Nice job of running after the catch. He's looking much better than he did when we saw him earlier in the season.
That is Raymond Harris, who is down flat on his back. And the woes continue to mount. Brian Cox and the Chicago Bears.
Teammates sponsored by the U.S. Army. Be part of our team in the Army.
Norv Turner's Washington Redskins have been paced by quarterback Gus Frerotte and wide receiver Michael.
The Westbrook leaping touchdown, Washington Redskins.
The fast-rising Redskins, a force to be reckoned with. Division.
Good job, line. Keep it going, huh?
It's freezing. It's quiet. But you get used to it. You grow to love it.
Snowfox 2-1. This is Snowfox base.
Snowfox 2-1. Then a storm comes up. And I'm the one who's got to get us out of here. And I remember who gave me courage. This is for them. For my mom and dad, who never missed a game. For Drill Sergeant McCardle, who showed me what it takes to be a leader.
Visual contact, Sergeant.
And for myself, who became one.
Every once in a blue moon, something new comes along that scrambles your preconceptions and turns out to be a whole new omelet. Like whoever thought you could say luxury car and fun in the same sentence? Well, we did. In fact, we said it in one word. Catera. A proud new addition to our luxury family. It's the caddy that zigs.
All right, Artie, you going out for this one?
Hey, let's go. Let's do it. Blue. Hut, hut.
I'm open.
That's a great sign if you're a Bear fan. Raymond Harris is back up. He took a knee to the head on a block. And rookie Darnell Autry out of Northwestern is in his stead. First down and 10 yards to go on the 8-yard pickup through the air by Tony Carter. And they send the young rookie Autry up the middle for a gain of 1. McDonald's game break now. We go back to Hollywood, our Fox Television Center, and here's James Brown.
Kevin, an historic run by Barry Sanders. Not unusual, but it takes him over the 1,000-yard mark. First player in NFL history to do that for 9 consecutive. Mr. Harlan and Mr. Glanville.
Thank you.
Now he knows their name.
Early in the season, remember, Barry Sanders had 53 yards in 2 games. People are saying, Barry Sanders is finished. Barry Sanders is done.
Don't count him out too quick.
Throw outside, and the pass is caught close to a first down by Ricky Prohl. He picks up 7 yards, and he's taken the place of Curtis Conway today. And for Prohl, he has been the favorite receiver of the Chicago quarterback. That's his 4th catch of the day.
Well, this is a screen. This is a screen to the wideout. And the second wideout, the slot inside, is going to go out and make the block. Stand up, throw the screen, and boom, there's Ingram's block to break the one-on-one coverage on Prohl. Nice little design. They got a 3rd and short now, Kevin.
Raymond Harris is back in the game. That is good news. 3rd and 1 on the Viking 42-yard line. Empty backfield for Kramer. He's on the money with the pass, which is caught by Bobby Ingram, who is a great 3rd down receiver a season ago. 2nd, in fact, in the NFL as a rookie. He's right there, and that's his 1st catch of the day, and it puts the Chicago Bears at the Viking 27.
Well, the Bears came with 4 wide receivers. The easiest throw for Kramer is the inside slant. Jumps inside, gets away from Robert Griffin, feed him the football, and he's off and running. 4 wide receivers, spread the whole formation, and spread the Vikings on their one-on-one coverage.
This is a note about Ingram. He has converted about 50% on his receptions this year, but he has established a new career high, 42 receptions, the leading receiver. That was his 42nd reception seconds ago.
Well, the Bears could not get lined up, and they were running out of time, so Kramer had to call the timeout. All the wide receivers are on the wrong side. The slots went to the right. They're supposed to go to the left.
Bears burn their 2nd timeout on the move, trailing by 7.
You're born, you go to school, and then one day, things begin to get interesting. Now, instead of preparing, you're doing. The stakes are a lot higher than they were in high school. Because out here, the tests you're given are of your honor, your courage, and your commitment. If this is your journey, it's time you got underway. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
Well, for a quarterback that the Bears were trying to get rid of early on, he's had a pretty good day, and he's driving them on this one.
Well, he's 8 out of 10 for the day for 72 yards, so Kramer's getting after the Vikings.
And no, Curtis Conway, their leader. First and 10, seventh play of the drive from the Viking 27 for the Chicago Bears. They trail by 7. Then it's a reverse, and they hand it off to Eric Smith, the former Kansas City Chief wide receiver, who is inside the 15 and all the way. Dixon Edwards makes the stop.
Well, they had a reverse with the guard pulling with him, but the guard, of course, couldn't run with Eric Smith. That's why Kramer had to take the timeout. I know now why the slots were in the wrong position. The slot here is to the right of your screen. He fakes the handoff, and here comes Eric Smith. Supposed to follow the guard, Too much speed. Nice play.
Smith was on the Kansas City practice squad last year, was cut in the...
Mario was trying to lead that play, but he ran like he had a hitch in his get-along.
First and 10, they stopped that play in mid-motion.
Before the ball was snapped, delay of game on the offense, 5 yards, it's still first down.
Bears, Jerry, pick up their second penalty right there. They're now the third most penalized team in the NFL, and early in Wannstedt's career, they're one of the least penalized teams.
In fact, one of his things everybody loved about him, his teams were never penalized. And now they've gone totally the other way. Go back to the center pulling on that play. Wasn't he out earlier in the year with an injury? Did he have a broken leg?
Broken leg.
And he ran like he had a broken leg. It's hard to pull a guy to lead a wide out on a reverse. And I said he had a hitch in his get-along. Well, if you got a broken leg, you don't run real good.
And the Bears burn their final timeout of this half with 4:45 to play in the first half. But they're driving. They trail the Vikings 14-7.
Toasters are guaranteed for about a year. Refrigerators, about 5. A Moen faucet, however, is guaranteed for life. Moen. Buy it for looks. Buy it for life.
Good morning. This is your wake-up call. And this is the Norelco Reflex Action Razor. Anything closer could be too close for comfort.
Well, before the game, Jerry Glanville put on a Chicago helmet.
Oh, man, that looked like you that night you were out trick-or-treating.
You start brushing your teeth more. That's a great banner, one of many around the Metrodome today here in downtown Minneapolis. The Bears are out of timeouts. They got it first and 15 on the 20-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. Hand off to Raymond Harris and over the right guard and picks up a yard, perhaps, to the 19-yard line. Fernando Smith did him in there.
Well, Fernando Smith is a defensive end, but they are playing for inside runs. There's no defensive ends outside the tackles. Because of the Bears' scheme and because the Vikings are so fast, it's going to be harder and harder to run up inside, which they just found out.
Ryan Whitnight is back in. He had a concussion earlier in the game that knocked him out, but he's back in now. Second down and 14 from the Minnesota 19.
And that concussion came on that kickoff return when we showed you the red.
No one covered Fernando Smith, and he forces Kramer to throw it away. Fernando Smith, who's had a sack in each of the last 4 games, came up big and almost had his 5th right there. Time now for our Aflac trivia question today from the Dome here in Minneapolis.
And this is a great question. The best we've ever had.
What two players going head-to-head today combined for over 7,000 rushing yards and 100 touchdowns in high school?
Over 100. Actually won 101 touchdowns.
Well, think about that for a minute.
Yeah, I want everybody at home to say there's a player on each team. They're playing against each other. All that yardage and over 100 touchdowns
in high school. Well, got some good offensive players in this game, too. 3rd and 14. Kramer with the pocket crumbling. Somehow the ball to the 11-yard line, but they're well shy of the first down. They had to get down to the 5. He picks up 8 right there. So it'll be 4th down, and they're going to try for 3. So the Viking defense holds Chicago to just a 3-point field goal try.
Well, you don't like that throw. The ball's at the 20. You should make that field goal anyway. That ball should have went to the end zone. Some Bears should have been trying to score with a touchdown pass rather than picking up another 10 yards.
The NFC's only perfect kicker, Jeff Jaeger, will try a field goal of 29 yards. He is 10 of 10. Sauerbrunn the hold. The kick is up, and the Bears are on the board again. So it's 14-10, and Dave Wannstedt comes up with 3 on that drive, which was highlighted by a 12-yard reverse to wide receiver Smith and a pass of 15 yards to Bobby Ingram. 14-10, the Vikings leading by 4.
You surprised me there when you said Sauerbrunn on the hold. I think the last time we were doing these games for the Bears, Kramer was doing the hold. I think that's new, having Sauerbrunn hold, since we were with this team.
Regardless of who's holding, they're finding great success because Jaeger now in the season has gone a pristine 11 of 11 consecutive field goals. What 2 players going head-to-head today, as we go back to our Aflac trivia question, combined for over 7,000 rushing yards and 100 touchdowns in high school?
And we're going to send you a turkey if you can give us the right answer.
I bet no one will get this one up. But you did. Chicago's defensive lineman, Jim Flanagan, at Southern Door High School in Door County, Wisconsin, with 4,400 yards, 59 touchdowns. And there is Jeff Christie, the Vikings center, 2,800 rushing yards and 42 touchdowns.
And maybe the best center in the National Football League today is Jeff Christie. He's certainly got to be one of the top centers in the National Football League, as Flanagan is for defensive linemen.
Bears get a 29-yard field goal, cut into that Viking margin a bit. It's 14-10, and the ensuing kickoff by Jeff Jaeger. And David Palmer from the 10. They're going to try the reverse fake, and Palmer keeps it himself, and there he goes with the blocker ahead. Jaeger to beat, and Palmer is on the run inside the 35 and down to the Chicago 29-yard line. A flag is down at the 30. A flag has been thrown at the 30-yard line. It looks like a hold on the play, and it may wipe out a 61-yard return, and it will.
Well, yesterday at the Minnesota Complex, we went in and sat down and watched all his returns for the year. And he's unbelievable in punt returns, kickoff returns, and you realize when you sit down and watch his whole season how dangerous he is.
And Jerry Austin will give us some clarification on the call.
We have a flag thrown for holding on the kicking team. The kicking team, there is no foul. First down at the end of the run.
Wow. So the 61-yard kickoff return holds for Dennis Green and his Minnesota Vikings right before the 2-minute warning. Let's watch it again.
He's a man that can get away in a phone booth. Doesn't matter how crowded it is. Now, there's a lot of daylight, and now he has to start wiggling away. Walt Harris got a chance to miss him 3 times on 1 return.
So David Palmer returns that 62 yards. They're now calling it officially, and that's what Chicago has given up as the biggest kickoff return of the season. So for a second time, Jerry, special teams comes into play for the Vikings on Chicago problems.
But tackling David Palmer is not just the Bears' problems. Everybody in the league has a hard time making a play on him.
From the 29, 1st and 10, misdirection handoff, and this is 250-pound Charles Evans. Near the 20-yard line, a flag was thrown. It's holding against the Vikings. It'll wipe it away.
Well, to run this play, you got to pull the backside guard. Who is the backside guard? Randall McDaniel, the best guard in the National Football League. Probably the only guard on the cover of a football team's media guide. There's one player on the Minnesota Viking media guide, and it's Randall McDaniel, the best guard in the National Football League, pulling for Charles Evans on that play.
It was holding downfield at the spot of the foul. So now it becomes 1st down. McDaniel, 8 consecutive Pro Bowls. Caught a touchdown pass, and one of those Pro Bowls from quarterback Brett Favre, as a matter of fact. 1st and 14.
Favre would be the only guy that would throw him a ball.
Leroy Horde, head first into the Chicago Bear defense, picks up 3, brought down at the 30. Another stop for Chicago at middle.
In the both linebackers, good hit. Ron Cox been with the Bears all those years, takes 1 year off, goes over the Green Bay Packers.
Wins a Super Bowl ring.
Wins a Super Bowl, gets a Super Bowl ring, then comes back with the Bears. Take 1 year off, get a Super Bowl ring, and come on back.
Not a bad job. Second down 11 just before the 2-minute warning. Vikings on a 62-yard kickoff return are here right now. Blitz is on, picked up nicely. Johnson to the air. Chris Carter, first down. Inside the Chicago 10. Put him at the 6. And a flag is thrown on a late hit.
Well, Chris Carter looks like he's in slow motion. Not even running fast, but he's turning the defensive back, Walt Harris, all around. And when it comes time to throw the ball, there's miles of separation.
Late flag thrown out of Art Thomas, the former Carolina Panther, who is starting today for John Theory, who is starting for the injured Alonzo Spellman, was in the vicinity of the flag.
Well, they're having a lengthy discussion. But the man in the white hat's in charge, Mr. Austin.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 26. Half a distance to the goal. First down.
They call it on John Mangum.
John shaking his head no. John's shaking his head no. I got to go along with John till we get a chance to talk to Mr. Austin, man in the white hat.
Another penalty against the Wanstead coach Chicago Bears. We're at the 2-minute warning after this nice 25-yard pass reception by the great Chris Carter.
He circled John Magnum. Now remember, you can't touch people in the white. That's called the white. He's in the white, and there's a shove. It wasn't a hit, but it was a shove, and they will protect you if you get in the white. So that's why he got the penalty. He shook his head no. He probably meant, no, I didn't hit him, but yes, I did shove him, and they will penalize you.
They'll be at the 3 where it's first and goal. Charles Evans is in the backfield. Evans the throw, easily into the end zone for another Viking touchdown.
Not enough people from tackle to tackle in the box. They came with one tight end, one back, and I believe the Bears then went off and played pass. That was too easy, and I think they ended up with a 4-1 inside, meaning one single linebacker to stop the run and 4 down linemen. So the formation made them think about
Murray on the Berger hold. And the Vikings go up 21-10 on the Chicago Bears, and that was set up on a 62-yard kickoff return by David Palmer and a 24-yard reception by Chris Carter.
When they got down, they had 1, 2, 3, 4. They do have a second man to this side, so it should be tougher to run on. But watch him cut off to the left, and a nice job by Todd Stussy. Pushes one man down and picks off the linebacker. It's the left tackle making this play go. Todd just shoved Carl Reeves upfield like a draw and went inside for the linebacker. Nice job by Todd Stussy. You talk about linemen. They got Todd Stussy at left tackle, Randall McDaniel at left guard, Jeff Christie at center. The right side for the Vikings, not as good. Dave Dixon at the guard, and Corey, I need another hamburger stringer. Too heavy. The coaches are mad at him. Everybody's mad at him. He came in heavy, and each week he picks up more weight.
Evans gets his second touchdown of the season. Mitch Berger is set to kick off for the Vikings, and deep back for the Chicago Bears is Tyrone Hughes. (21-10), the Minnesota Vikings lead the Chicago Bears. And the kickoff by Berger, taken about a yard deep. Tyrone Hughes will take it out for the Chicago Bears. He runs up the middle and advances the ball to the 26-yard line there with no timeouts and 1:50 with which to work on the first half clock. Well, the Dockers Khaki halftime coming up with JB and Terry giving you scores and highlights from a busy day in the NFL. And the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you up to date on all the statistics league-wide. It's coming up next on the Dockers Khaki halftime report from Hollywood. On their own 27, first and 10 for the Chicago Bears. No.
4 wideouts, and he's audible.
Kramer right to work, short drop. It's Ryan Wetnight, the tight end, and Wetnight is upfield for a first down, out of bounds at the Chicago 43. Corey Fuller knocks him out. It's a gain of 16, and he stops the clock at 1:45.
Well, he was in the slot, and he just ran a little diagonal, and the defensive back fell down. Corey Fuller fell down for the Vikings and allowed Wetnight to turn up the sideline. He's mad at himself here.
Fuller has an interception off Kramer earlier today. That completion by Kramer of his 10, that was the first to a tight end. First and 10 from the 43. Draw play to Raymond Harris. He pushes a pile, backpedaling his way to the 46. And when he probably should have gained about 3 inches, he picks out somehow 3 yards in that defense.
Well, that's the fun of watching him. There's no quit in Raymond Harris.
Bobby Ingram is sprained an ankle, out at least to the second half. Second down and 7. Wetnight, his second catch on this drive, and tackled by Jeff Brady. And that will set up third down and a couple after the 6-yard gain through the air, and the second time he's gone to his tight end.
Well, Kramer had to bring it out in a hurry because John Randall was there instantly, beat Todd Perry, and was all over the quarterback.
From the 48 of Minnesota. Third down and a couple. It's tapped. It's deflected. It's incomplete. Leonard Wheeler, the former Bengal, on Ricky Prohl.
And he comes in the nickel situation. Watch them both fight for the football. Short route. Would have only been like a 2-yard completion.
Prohl almost had to play the role of defensive back on that play.
He had a reverse rolls. Prohl had a reverse rolls. I like that.
Well, you don't have to write it. Don't write it down.
Let me write it down. I'll write it on your shirt. Where all my notes are on your shirt. Thanks for wearing that white shirt.
David Palmer awaits the kick by Todd Sauerbrunn. Second punt today. Going for the fair catch, and he makes it at the 12-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings, a 36-yard punt. So a nice inside the 20 kick by Todd Sauerbrunn of the Chicago Bears. And this year he only has 12 inside the 20. We're at the Dome here in Minneapolis. This game is presented by authority of the NFL and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Minnesota Vikings and the National Football League is prohibited. Here in the Dome, a lot of controversy about this dome. The state legislature has said they'll put money toward renovating it. The Vikings don't want it renovated. They want a brand new place or a dual-purpose stadium with the Minnesota Twins. And the Twins are looking for a new stadium themselves, and if they don't get it, they're going to move to Carolina.
Well, the Vikings are mad also on their rental upkeep. They're like $6 million a year on rental upkeep, which is way too much for today's market.
$8 million.
$8 million. I missed it by 2. That's your salary.
May have been a busted play, and here comes Brad Johnson, who is drilled at the 18-yard line by free safety John Mangum, but he picked. The Vikings have all their timeouts. Chicago's out of theirs.
And I think you called it. It was a busted play. He went to hand off to the back, and the back went the other way.
Second down and 3.
There's the play he wanted.
Here comes Charles Evans. At 250 pounds, he plays the game like a linebacker. And he bowling balls a couple after a gain of 12, and he stops the clock at 25 seconds.
And like you said, they've kept all their timeouts.
We'll take us inside the Vikings now. What are they thinking?
I think they're going to wait and see if they get past the 50. You try to get past the 50. If you don't, then you get out of here ahead. If they can get this ball past the 50, then go on and use your timeouts with the 25 seconds. Work yourself for a field. Now, if you're a Viking, you're saying, let's get the ball to the 32-yard line for the field goal. 3 wideouts to one side. Call the trips here.
From the 32, first and 10. Goes underneath. It's caught by Charles Evans. His 16th reception of the season. Picks up a first down. It's a gain of 12. He's out to the 44-yard line. Tackle made by Brian Cox. And the Vikings will burn their first timeout of the first half.
And a good job by Brad Johnson. When he threw the ball to the back circling out, Brad Johnson went to the official and called timeout before the back was even tackled.
And Evans going to the sideline. There's Brian Cox, who has been in the news again. He lashed out at the team management for their fine of Curtis Conway, who threw a helmet, was ejected last week, came in contact with an official. Fox criticized the team's charity, Bears Cares, for not helping minorities. Said if he's going to get fined, or if Conway's going to get fined, put that toward minority charities in the Chicago area. Yet all 26 grants the last Bears Care went to charities that help minorities, almost $2 million.
Well, I don't think you have the right to start saying where your fine's going to go. I mean, you could have your own foundation. You know, go ahead and fine me, but I want the money to go to the Glanville Foundation. You can't determine where the money's going.
That's a bad foundation. First and 10, he just kind of lobs it over an oncoming defender and looking for Leroy Horde. Almost looked like he was taking a free throw, and of course he's used to that because when he played college basketball at Florida State, he took a lot for then Coach Pat Kennedy with the Seminoles.
Well, he told me his record's 147 free throws in a row. That isn't bad. You got to love this guy. When you interview Brad Johnson, he's a guy that loves to play football, loves to compete, from Black Mountain, North Carolina. Now, if you don't know where that is, that's near Asheville. And if you don't know where Asheville is, that's near Charlotte. And if you don't know where Charlotte is, then you haven't watched the Panthers play.
Why don't you go find some of those cities here for a second down and 10. Johnson slips, regains his footing, going deep, looking for the rookie Hatchett, and he's out of bounds. And the coverage was applied by Tom Carter, the former Washington Redskin. Matthew Hatchett is a 7th-round pick out of Langston. Incomplete pass, 7 seconds to play. Vikings have 2 timeouts, but they're probably going to be relegated to just 1 more play in this first half.
Well, Hatchett comes in when they do the 4 wides because Walsh comes in with 3. So if you don't get to see Hatchett much, he's in a package when there's only 4 wide receivers in the game.
Last great wide receiver to come out of Langston.
You got me.
Kenny Payne, who played for the Green Bay Packers and on one Monday night game against the Denver Broncos, caught 14 passes. 3rd down and 10. 4 receivers deployed. Johnson will go short, and it's caught, but out of bounds by Reed. They call it. One referee overruled the referee on the scene. There are 2 seconds remaining.
Field goal.
And now they can try for a field goal, and that means Eddie Murray is the focus.
This will be a 52-yard field goal.
That was a tremendous catch by Jake Reed.
And
that's his second of the day.
The officials had, they looked at each other for help. The officials, one guy wouldn't call he was in. They wanted help, so they had official in good position. There's one behind him. There's official in front and behind. Look at it drag that toe. So these 2 officials, both in good position, said yes. Nice throw again by Brad Johnson.
Eddie Murray has kicked long in his career of 54 yards.
I asked the head coach yesterday, can he make a 52-yarder? He said yes.
But can he make a 53-yarder, which this is? He has made 12 consecutive field goals in the Dome until right there, and the streak going back to 1991. So the oldest player in the NFL at 41 years old, Eddie Murray, can't convert. The Vikings had a chance, and that's all they wanted. And Dave Armstead breathes a sigh of relief with his Chicago Bears down 21-10. Expected things in this first half we'll talk about when we come back. That's the end of the first half. Chicago 21-10 over the Bears. The Dockers can't get halftime on deck after these messages.
For the Bears, defense doing the job there as well. Packers, Rams, no offense, no scoring. Look at that. The last team to beat the Pack at home was the Rams in 95. Buccaneers 17-7 over the Falcons. Big first half for Trent Dilfer. What does Barry Sanders have to do? All he needs on his second carry is to gain 7 yards to become the first back in 9 consecutive years in the NFL to rush for 1,000 yards. He did it right there. Skins are up, though, by 3. And then another milestone for Sanders. He passes Tony Dorsett for 3rd place on the league's career rushing list. Still 3-0. Now 10-0. Skins over the Lions at the half. Jake Plummer at the helm for the Cardinals. He's been sacked 4 times. Cowboys enjoy a touchdown lead over the Cardinals. In Miami, Jets nursing a 3-point lead. Parcells and Johnson doing battle there. Jaguars 21-3 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaguars are for real indeed. And finally, we show you on the scoreboard where it's all tied. Indianapolis and the Bengals 7-all. And when we come back, the Dockers halftime will continue. We'll bring some oxygen for TB, and we'll continue after this. I feel like I ought to be like this.
You look what everybody's doing. It's anybody's ball game except for that 1 interception.
The Vikings took their opening drive downfield, and David Palmer, who's had a sensational first half, runs this in.
No run force on the outside. I think the Bears were blitzing from the other side, and they had no run force to stop that outside.
Bears came back with Raymond Harris.
Raymond Harris following Big Cat Williams' excellent block.
Palmer again, this time through the air.
And watch his feet. This is close. They did say he got him down. It was a bang-bang play. Tough to call.
And there's a Chicago field goal, and after that, here came Charles Evans right into your living room. A 3-yard touchdown run, 21-10 at halftime, and through 2 quarters. Here are the first half numbers.
Well, if you look at the stats, nowhere in the stats is that 1 interception, and that's probably the difference. The rushing yardage, the passing yardage, the time of possessions, third down, all that is so close, you'd think the Bears would be ahead. But that 1 interception, I'm not so sure, again, that Bobby Ingram did not stop running the slant route that Kramer thought he was going to get.
And the 2 quarterbacks today have been interesting, too. Kramer with a pretty good start, as has Brad Johnson. There you see Eric Kramer with an interception. Johnson has hit 7 different receivers and 145 yards through the air.
Kramer in a real hot. Watch the outside receiver, who's Bobby Ingram, and he stops the route. Bobby Ingram does not keep coming in, and I think Kramer anticipated him coming in on the slant, and Bobby Kramer stopped right there and allowed that interception to go right to Corey Fuller.
So there's Eric Kramer, who is, of course, in that quarterback roulette in Detroit. Signed as a free agent with the Chicago Bears, had a great 95, injured a neck last year, and because there was so much uncertainty, they went out and got Rick Meyer, who is, to say the least, has been a bust for this team. His confidence is shot. Kramer back in there starting. And there is Jeff Jagger, the first time all year he has been kicking off. They have had Sauerbrunn, but Jagger, he'll kick off again.
They were going to kick Jagger last week if the wind was against him. But if the wind was at the back, they were going to go with Sauerbrunn. And the wind was at Sauerbrunn's back, so his kickoff debut has been waited till today.
So Jagger sets to kick off for the Chicago Bears, and our second half is underway from downtown Minneapolis. Williams on the 10-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings with the block, and he's out past the 25, and then whacked pretty good at about the 27-yard line by Anthony Marshall, reserve defensive secondary player for the Chicago Bears. Vikings will begin things, 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Vikings came into this game, Jerry, thinking it was a very dangerous game against the 1-8 Bears.
Well, it's funny, they know the Bears, and they have to play them twice a year, and they knew they were lucky to get out of Chicago with a win, and they know the Bears' success up here in this dome.
Robert Smith, of course, not playing today. Second consecutive game he has missed because of the bad ankle. So Horde takes his place, and Johnson on 1st and 10 throws an interception. And it's intercepted by Walt Harris. His 2nd interception against the Vikings this year, his 3rd on the season. Chris Carter was the intended receiver, and Brad Johnson throwing his 1st interception in well over 100 passes.
And he tried to touch this ball. This is not a good hard throw. He tried to throw it up and over the defender, and the ball hung. And you could tell that when the ball came out of his hand, I said to myself, Self, this is a bad ball. And Self was correct. Walt Harris jumped in there and picked that off.
That is a scary conversation.
Sometimes it's the only guy that will talk to me.
From the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Chicago Bears. Raymond Harris stuck in the backfield, brought down, big hit. Dixon Edwards, who played 5 years with the Cowboys and played on 3 Super Bowl championship teams.
And Dixon Edwards, the game plan against the Bears is that, by the way, Dixon, you're going to blitz most of the time this game. He's been up in gaps the entire game.
He moves outside with Ed McDaniel back. McDaniel, of course, missed all of last year with the knee in the preseason. Loss of 1, 2nd down and 11 yards to go. Underneath, a swing pass caught by Raymond Harris, who is spun around, yet gains about 10 yards near the 45-yard line, hit by Edwards and Jeff Brady, and down goes Harris.
He's injured.
He had a minor concussion earlier in the season against the Green Bay Packers. He was knocked out of this game with a knee to the helmet earlier.
From Fernando Smith.
And he's down again.
Swing pass to the strong side. Nice running in the open field.
Another Chicago injury.
This is here. Fasten your seatbelts. by The Jackal, a Universal release starring Bruce Willis and Richard Gere, starts Friday, November 14th, rated R. By the Norelco Reflex Action Razor, anything closer could be too close for comfort. And by Gossamer Bay Vineyards, wine with the taste that's meant to be shared.
Beautiful scenic of downtown Minneapolis. That's a good scenic right there. Raymond Harris is up, but he was knocked out on a big hit delivered by the Viking defense.
That's Dixon Edwards. A lot of people come to watch Jeff Brady and Ed McDaniel play, but there's full speed contact by Dixon Edwards.
Third time today the Bears have had a 3rd and 1, and it was a handoff. Nope, Eric Kramer took it himself on the quarterback keeper, and he'll be very close to a first down. Kramer's not a very big guy whatsoever, but he took it right into the teeth of the Viking defense. May have come up with the movement of the chains. They give him the first down.
Didn't make it by much, but he did make it.
And this possession offensively was set up by a Walt Harris interception of Viking quarterback Brad Johnson. From the 44, first down and 10 yards to go. Play action by Kramer. Buys him some time, and he floats the pass a little bit out of the reach of fullback Tony Carter, who played at the University of Minnesota. Undrafted player picked up by the Chicago Bears. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, the run fake fooled the secondary of Minnesota. In fact, they tackled the tight end down the field. Usually a man staring at that tight end would give you a penalty there, so they did not convert even when they had the Minnesota Viking defense fooled.
Carter led the running backs for the Bears last year in receptions. This year he's got 8, at 5 last week against the Washington Redskins. Second down and 10 from the 44. Good time again for Kramer. Throws a bullet, and it's caught for a first down. Ricky Prohl, another reception. He's down to the 32-yard line of Minnesota. It's a gain of 12, and Kramer right on the money.
Well, Corey Fuller changed his mind. He wanted to be full press, which is the way to play Ricky Prohl, but he backs out. He backs out, does a run out, and he's looking in at the quarterback now. And he's still looking at the quarterback set, and then he tries to find Prohl. He was trying to see if it was a 3-step or 5-step by the quarterback, and Ricky Prohl ED out route for a reception.
Season high, 5 catches. First and 10 pass, almost picked off, incomplete at the 20-yard line, and Orlando Thomas, who has the second most interceptions of any NFL player over the last 3 years, just about lassoed his 3rd of the season. Incomplete pass.
Well, he was squatting. He didn't move. Orlando Thomas was playing for this route. He'll be sitting right over here, and he was just playing the inside cut, trying for the pick. That, of course, left the post open, but Kramer didn't know that. The post was going to be open because Orlando was sitting on the slant line.
Blitz is picked up nicely. Kramer rolling out of the pocket, throws a pass, caught for the first time today by Fabian Bones. It's a gain of 9 yards. He had a career day last week against the Redskins with 4 receptions. Corey Fuller knocks him out of bounds. He'll be a yard shy of the first down.
Fabian Bones going to run the out route with the sprint by the quarterback. I don't understand. Corey Fuller, he's off 11 yards. That's not how Minnesota normally plays. 3rd and short, Kevin.
We're going to see a lot of Bones because Ingram is out for the game with a sprained ankle. 8th play of the drive, 3rd and 1 for the Chicago Bears. Play action to Autry. Kramer throws a first down pass, and it's caught at the 13-yard line. Reception by Eric Smith, his second of the day. It's a gain of 10. And again, Kramer keeps the drive alive with a pass to little-used, little-known wide receivers.
Well, you could have knocked me over with a feather on that play call. They had 3rd and less than the yard and threw that deep curl. This is a surprise, and they had me. I would have played for the run. That's why I'm up here with you now.
But what about the Chicago Bears? Conway is out with the shoulder. Ingram is out today with an ankle. Penn is out with the concussion. It's Smith, Bones, and Prohl. Who ever heard of these guys? First down and 10. A little bit short, incomplete to Ricky Prohl.
Well, I think your point is very good. I think that's probably why they threw, because they had Darnell Autry in the backfield rather than Raymond Harris. I think your point is, you know, for the first time ever, you're making sense. And I'm listening.
And that is scary.
But I think that's probably why. You go back, why did they throw it on the 3rd and 1? Because Raymond Harris is not in.
Raymond had the wind knocked out of him. They do expect him to return. And Dave Wannstedt as we've seen over the last couple of years, has had to pull about everything out of his bag of tricks to get this team to play. Second down and 10. Darnell Autry inside the 10, picks up 4 near the 8. And arguably, Autry might be the second most famous college athlete ever out of the Chicago area. And we include Mark Aguirre, the great basketball player at DePaul. But Autry put Northwestern on the map in Chicago last year.
Absolutely, with everything he did for that university. Watch his quick feet. Little slide, little feet, kept his shoulders square. I think he hasn't turned himself loose yet in pro football. I think he's still tentative, and you only get to turn yourself loose by playing and playing. I think he's better than what he's shown.
It's 3rd and 6 for Kramer. Goes to his tight end, Whitnight, short of the first down. He had to get to the 2. He got to the 5. He picked up 4. And now Dave Wannstedt has a very important decision to make. It's 4th down and a couple to go, and they're going to try for 3, and Jeff Jager is going to get the call.
Well, good news for you, Chicago. Watch 21. He does pick up the blitz. He's a rookie, and he does find the right man, picks up a blitz, protects his quarterback, allows the diagonal cut to be caught.
Here comes Jeff Jager, a 22-yard attempt right now. He's already booted one through from 29 yards. Sauerbrunn the hole, and Jager stays perfect in 1997. A 22-yard field goal. Wannstedt puts 3 more on the board. The Vikings hold the Bears out of the end zone, but it's 21-13 Minnesota. A field goal of 27, make it 22 yards as number 27, Walt Harris, picked off quarterback Brad Johnson of the Minnesota Vikings. So it's 21-13. With Chicago trailing, and Jager kicking off for the first time this year, gets a good foot into it. Mo Williams, 2 years out of Kentucky, will return it for the Minnesota Vikings and finds room up the sideline as he takes it near the 30-yard line, knocked out of bounds at the 29 by Walt Harris. Gain of 25 on the kickoff return. 20th straight field goal by Jager, a 12-play, 50-yard drive set up by the Walt Harris interception.
Well, we talked about Darnell Autry. He was on that kickoff coverage team, and I tell you what, lucky somebody didn't get arrested. They treated him awful. They knocked Autry around, got him down the ground, pounded on him, and made him like it. Welcome to the National Football League.
On the 29, first down and 10 yards to go, and Leroy Horde is clawed into by Barry Minner. No gain on the play.
Haven't called Minner many times, and he's an excellent linebacker. He's usually in the blitz. He's usually causing havoc behind the line, but they're not blitzing Minner like they have in the past.
Minner leads the team in sacks. Ryan in a trade with the Dallas Cowboys back in 1993 as the Redskins are on top of the Detroit Lions 13-0. Second down to the long 9. 4-man conventional rush by the Chicago Bears. Johnson flushed from the pocket, being chased on the play by Simpson. Throws way downfield. Walt Harris just about had his second interception. Incomplete pass, looking for Jake Reed. It'll be 3rd and a long 9, and a flag thrown on the far side at the 42.
Excellent coverage. Remember the last time they played, Walt Harris really was the go to the game.
And gave up the game-winning touchdown to Chris
Pass
Walsh.
interference, number 86.
By
of
playing
the offense,
way off.
10 yards, repeat second down.
And guess what he's doing now? He's not playing off on anything. He's changed his style.
He's right up on him.
Look where he is. Well, that's Carter. He was back into the zone, rolled up, looked like how he's got him totally shut off. That's called a cutoff. He's cutting him off from going deep. And then we go back to our Aflac question. Here's Flanagan with all those touchdowns. Here's Christie with all those touchdowns. Those two guys got 100 touchdowns. And there they are, man on man, playing a different game in the trenches. They've gone from being the hero in high school carrying the ball to carrying the torch in the trenches.
Second down 19, Palmer in the backfield. Johnson from the gun, sacked and brought down Carl Simpson. Jim Flanagan, second time he's been sacked today. And this offensive line going into today, Jerry, had allowed only 5 sacks the last 5 games. Well, today the Chicago Bears have sacked Brad Johnson twice.
And one reason they get him, Brad Johnson will hold the ball. Watch Flanagan. He's blocked. He's on the line of scrimmage. They got pressure back there with Carl Simpson. And Carl Simpson gets a good hit on him on Mark Thomas. But it took 2 people on Flanagan. And there's Cox trying to work his way on Corey Stringer. And that was caused by Brad Johnson ball out to stand in there.
And sack makes it 3rd and 22. Intercepted again. This time, John Mangum. The second time Johnson has been picked off, and this time it is deep in Viking territory at the 37-yard line. Mangum's second interception of the day, of the year. And for Brad Johnson, picked off twice. He had gone 110 passes before getting picked off twice today. For the Bears is their best of the day. 1st and 10 out of the backfield, fullback Tony Carter. And the former Minnesota Golden Gopher picks up 11 yards, a first down pass, his 3rd reception of the afternoon after catching 5 last week against the Redskins.
Just a little diagonal. It's called a flat or a shoot by the halfback. He's right here, and all he's doing is shooting to the sideline. Good protection.
It's a first down. Harris is out. Darnell Autry is in on the 27-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings. Blitz is on. Oh, it almost broke off the handoff. It did. There's a fumble, and the Vikings have gotten it on the blitz by Robert Griffin, who came through and broke up the handoff from quarterback to running back.
Right through the guard tackle gap, untouched. Safety walked up, and he's going to fire. Here he is. He's going to walk up. He's going to walk up. Watch what happens. He beats the handoff. Bam! Timed it beautiful. Hello.
Jeff Brady recovers the fumble. And the Vikings get it back, leading 21-13.
John, it won't help him. I know you have no money in your account. None.
After the Berger 37-yard punt and 6-yard return, it's first down and 10 yards to go, and rookie Darnell Autry is sent into the teeth of the Viking defense and picks up a meager yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
But Darnell Autry had no hole, nowhere to run. The Vikings came and jammed the line and brought the linebackers. So they're going after the running game without Raymond Harris.
Not a good half running the ball or throwing the ball for the Minnesota Vikings. 2 interceptions, negative yards on the ground. That was Autry coming into today. It's 2nd down and 9. Kramer going deep. He's got Kroll, and Ricky Kroll is going to go into the end zone for a Chicago touchdown. What a play!
Well, the corner was so far off, I don't know if the corner fell down or if it was cover 2. Kramer's hollering, you're going for 2, we're going for 2, we got to tie this game. But it looked like the corner thought the safety was going to come over, and a nice job, Ricky Kroll. The last time we did a Bear game, Ricky Kroll didn't even suit up. He was inactive. They didn't even dress him, and today he comes back and puts him right back in this ballgame.
The Viking defense given up an average of 12 points. As Chicago's going to go for 2. They've given up 19 through 2.5 quarters today.
They're spread out all over. This is a throw. This isn't like the one they tried against Green Bay. Spread formation versus blitz.
They're going for the tie, and they don't get it.
Try to pick off to the left.
Last time we saw Chicago go for 2 was against Green Bay.
Yeah, but that was a different formation. They were in goal line formation. They had 1 receiver. This was a pick off the Kramer side with the 4 wides, the outside man. Everybody got bunched up, and even the pickers couldn't get open.
So Eric Kramer converts on the touchdown pass, but Ken on the 2-point pass.
Well, the Bears did a good job picking up the blitz. Over here to the left, you'll see a wad of people. All this was a pick, all wadded up, and nobody could get to where the ball was going.
And the pass to Ricky Kroll right here, good for 59
now watch
yards.
This corner. I think it's a cover 2. He thinks he's going to have safety help. Sure enough, that's what he was doing to Corey Fuller. Where's the safety? Where's the safety? Here he comes. Robert Griffin a little bit late. Nice job by a guy that didn't even suit up. The last time we did a Bear game, I saw him in street clothes. I said, keep your head up. Somewhere along the line, they'll need you to come back, and you come back and help them. That's what he did today.
Season-long pass play for the Bears. Ricky Kroll picks up his 4th touchdown reception of the year. 2 have come against Chicago when Chicago has played the Vikings, and 1 came last week against the Washington Redskins. So here's Jeff Jager to kick off again. 2 plays, 60 yards, and the Bears trail by 2, 21-19. Kickoff by Jagger. Bo Williams from the 6-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings and brought down at the 15-yard line. Great coverage by rookie Van Hiles. And now the Bears have gained some momentum.
And you can see they're playing with some more enthusiasm, some more excitement. Nice tackle. Nowadays, when you kick off way back, you keep moving the kicker back, and you can make the tackle inside the 20, make them start at the 15. You've had
Die Hard with a vengeance. Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox. And a first down pass. Make it a Horde run. Play. Great fake by Johnson. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Horde ran up in there, and the Bears, like you said, Kevin, they're playing with more enthusiasm.
Second down and 10 from the 15-yard line for Johnson. Swings it out to the sideline. Caught by Leroy Horde and wrestled out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Walt Harris was there. It's a gain of 3.
Good job by Walt Harris. A little corner on a big, strong back. Horde is noted for running over defensive backs. And they ran a little flare up into the flat. And Walt Harris did a good job of banging them out of bounds for a 2-yard gain.
Green Bay on top of St. Louis, 10-7. And the Buccaneers wiping up Atlanta in the 4th quarter. Vikings came in 2 today, tied for first place in the NFC Central Division. 3rd and long, 7th. From the 17, Johnson. Carter, he's got to get to the 25, and he gets to the 24 before Barry Minner brings him down. It's a gain of 6, and it looks like the Vikings are going to punt, and Johnson can't convert on 3rd down.
Great effort by Chris Carter, though, Kevin. When he caught the ball, he was 5 yards away from a first down, and he kept fighting. He split 2 defenders, and he got it close, but he didn't get it over. Missed it by a half yard.
Berger will be punting for the Vikings. Tyrone Hughes is deep back, and the rush was on, but Berger gets it away. Hughes from the 30-yard line, and he's out to the 39. Return of 8 after the 45-yard punt by Berger. Green Bay is winning. The Vikings are winning by 2. 2 teams tied atop the NFC Central coming into today. The Buccaneers look like they're on their way to their 7th win of the season.
You said they were beating Atlanta?
21-10.
Well,
the referee is down.
Official's down, and he's in trouble. Shoulder, dislocated left shoulder. He's holding on like he came out of the socket. He's holding his thumb. He's telling him to squeeze him. Oh, I hate to see that. I can't tell which official it is. I know it's not Austin because he wears the white hat.
Could have been side judge Dave Wyant. Well, let's hold off before we start going over a list of names and who it could or could not be.
Right. He did grab his left shoulder, so I can't tell you what the injury was. I saw him reach up and grab his left shoulder with his right hand. At least the doctor's laughing, so I feel better.
Well, it was the side judge, Dave Wyant.
Right here you can see him. Eric Kramer's trying to help him. Man, he must have took a good look.
Chicago has it first down and 10 yards to go from the 39-yard line. Kramer throws, Oxley catches, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Just his 3rd reception of the year. They blow the play dead. And Fernando Smith can run from here to St. Paul, but it's not going to count.
Well, it was a good catch. He knew that he was in trouble. Autry knew that somebody was right there to smack him. He reached out and grabbed the ball and brought it back. Raymond Harris has not returned, of course, since he went out after that tremendous hit by Dixon Edwards.
They're knocked out twice in this game.
One knee by Fernando Smith and then a big-time hit from Dixon Edwards.
Autry picked up nothing on the catch. Second down, 10 yards to go. The pitch out to Darnell Autry. Carter gets the block, and Autry cuts inside. He's out to the 43-yard line before being hit by Derek Alexander, the #1 pick out of Florida State a couple years ago. Autry picks up 4.
And there's nowhere to go, but I like Autry on this run. And his feet, there's nowhere to run. Watch the Vikings again. When you run sideways, they got it all strung out, and they're all right there. But I think Autry did a good job picking up a little bit more than what was really there for him to get. He did a good job.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 from the 43-yard line. Vikings lead it 21-19. Kramer in traffic, throws incomplete to Ricky Prohl. 4th down, Chicago's got a punt.
Well, that was a bad throw. There was absolutely nobody on inside pressure. Both defensive tackles went outside the guards, which usually will allow these people both come outside, which usually allows the quarterback to sit in there. Watch, nobody on his face, still nobody near him. That was a real bad football.
Solid run to punt. Gets up a rocket. Palmer will let it go inside the 10. Takes a Chicago bounce to the 3. John Mangum got it. Sauerbrunn comes up with a 54-yard beauty.
Well, that's great for Sauerbrunn. Been a long time since he's really helped this team. Well, guess what? He really helped the Bears with that punt.
His second inside the 20 today. And the Bears were looking to audition punters this week in practice. That's what kind of thin ice he was skating on coming into this week.
Well, it'd be great to see him turn the year around. Maybe this would get him going. It'd be great to see him get it together and do what everybody feels his legs will allow him to do. He can get his mind right there with his good leg.
On the 3, 1st and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings. Johnson will set up in the end zone, toss it to Leroy Horde, and he's brought down by Brian Cox at the 8-yard line after a gain of 6. 2nd down and 4.
Well, the strong safety for the Bears was expecting runs, so that he runs up. Watch here. A safety will run up here. There, you just saw him in the frame, building an 8-man front. They never thought it was going to be a pass, and Cox comes in and makes a good hit. Both Coxes.
15 passing yards this half and 2 interceptions by the Minnesota Vikings. 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Charles, they get Leroy Horde outside with the 1st down, and he got a great block from wide receiver Jake Reed. Anthony Marshall finally makes the stop after a gain of 20.
Well, Horde's an inside runner, so he bounces this outside. I think this surprises. Watch Horde bounce to your right on your television screen. Starts off to the left, doesn't like it. Now he bounces all the way outside. Mangum falls down. And Carter can't get off the block, and a nice run by Leroy Horde.
Horde today taking the place of the injured Robert Smith. 20-yard gain is a season long. That's the first Vikings 1st down since the final minute of the 1st half. Johnson going deep and looking for Reed, and it's incomplete. He was covered downfield by safety John Mangum, along with Tom Carter.
Well, Brad Johnson went for it all with a double pump. The double pump, he's going to fake a route. Watch him. Hopes the DB jumps on that one. Protection was good enough. Tom Carter, not fooled by the double pump. All he had was the outside route, a little push and shove in there.
Reed, who caught 12 passes against the Chicago Bears week 2, has just 1 catch today against Chicago. Williams in the backfield, 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Minner looks like he might blitz, backs off. Williams the call. to the 33 and a gain of 4. Jim Flanagan, the tackle.
Bears playing much more like they did in the first part of the season before they went to all the loop stunts and blitzes. And I think they're sort of fooling Minnesota by going back to what the Bears were the last time they played each other. So a big difference in the defensive scheme than what you've seen in the Bears the last 5 weeks.
Great third down team, this Minnesota ball club. 3rd and 6. They got to get to the 39. Brad Johnson in the pocket. Great coverage by the Bears. Johnson hit as he throws. He'll go to his tight end, but he's short of the first down. Andrew Glover, the tight end, makes the grab. His first catch today, but short of the first down by 2 yards. And the Bears hold. And the third quarter has come to a close. A tight one for the first place Vikings, leading by 2 at the end of 3. We'll continue after these messages from your local Fox station. We start the fourth quarter with the Minnesota Vikings leading the 1-8 Chicago Bears by just 2 points, 21-19. With Jerry Glanville, this is Kevin Harlan. The Vikings have to punt to begin the fourth quarter. Mitch Berger will punt to Tyrone Hughes. Line drive and some good distance back to the 10-yard line. They drive Hughes, and he is taken down at the 15-yard line. Pete Persich makes the stop, a 53-yard punt by the Minnesota Vikings. The Bears will get it back on the heels of Minnesota, down by 2.
It's about change. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. By fast, reliable FedEx. It's the way the world works. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
First down and 10 yards to go from the 16. Play action. Kramer out of the pocket and being chased. Jerry Ball is on his heels. Incomplete pass. Let's go to Hollywood. McDonald's game break and James Brown.
Kevin, in what has already been a record-setting day for Barry Sanders, take a look at this. Patented Sanders run. No opening one way. Goes back the other way. 51 yards to pay dirt. His first carry of the second half. Washington still winning 20-7. Barry, though, 94 total yards. Back to Kevin and Jerry.
And 1,000 yards for a 9th consecutive year for Barry Sanders. Second down and 10. Darnell Autry, the rookie from Northwestern, up to the 26-yard line. Robert Griffith brings him down. And Autry with an 11-yard carry.
And I think that's when you get to look like yourself. If you get to play, sooner or later, you look like yourself. This is going to be a lead right in here off the eye. Just run it up in there. Got a little crack, a good job, good foot speed. Fun to watch him watch. He did so much for that Northwestern University.
We said something before the game about letting the young players play.
The only way you can tell if they can play is by letting them play and get them in there and play and play.
On the 26, first down and 10 yards to go. Kramer to his second option, throws it away. Coverage on Eric Smith in the secondary by Robert Griffith, and he had John Randall right in his face.
I think they're blitzing the linebacker to free up John Randall. They brought a linebacker in the A-gap. The A-gap is between the Todd Perry, the left guard, and the center. So this is the A-gap, and what they'll do is they'll blitz a linebacker through that gap, which will make Randall be one-on-one. So now Randall, he ends up one-on-one against Andy Heck. So they're taking away the double team by bringing a linebacker and making one man try to block John Randall.
Second down and 10. Kramer throws, and he threads the needle to wide receiver Ricky Prohl. It's a gain of 9.
Well, Prohl's having a big-time day for the Bears. Here he is on the outside. It's going to be an inside slant. The corner is sitting outside. He tries to drive the route. That's Dwayne Washington sitting outside, expecting more help inside.
7 catches, 112 yards by Ricky Prohl, taking the place of the injured Curtis Conway.
Third and less than a yard, Kevin.
It's third down and 1. Autry close, but appears to be short.
Wasn't much room there. They have to punt the football. Just needed a yard. All the Vikings standing strong.
Fourth down, Sauerbrunn to punt. Got a 54-yarder the last time. David Palmer. No place to run down at the 18-yard line. 51-yard punt by Sauerbrunn. He's put two beauties back-to-back. Vikings get it back, leading by 2.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? How?
Travel with Joseph Van Oss Photo Safari to Kenya's land of the Maasai.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
And you'll see a culture and a wildlife like no other on earth.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
But bring your Visa card.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? Give it an American Express card.
Because this photo safari doesn't take American Express.
Wait till they hear this in Nairobi.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
We're back at Ericsson Stadium where we're down to the final second.
Ericsson mobile phones. Catch the excitement.
These days, it seems like there's a sport utility behind every treat. Well, here's a tip to help you choose the right one. Look for the one with innovations, like our elevated theater seating. The most power and towing capacity in its class. The strongest frame, the most seating configurations, the most room. You'll know it when you see it. Durango. New ground for the new Dodge.
You want hardcore football?
Let's try out the new truck.
Joe Namath guest stars on a brand new Simpsons tonight on Fox.
The Metrodome holding the Vikings right now, but will it in the future. Team is for sale. Fox reported earlier this morning that the people that own the Los Angeles Kings of the NHL would like to buy the Vikings. One of many suitors, it appears. From their own 18-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. Vikings lead it 21-19. Brad Johnson. Flanagan can't bring him down, and he finally gets the pass away, and it's caught by the tight end at the 22, Greg DeLong, just his 6th reception of the season. It's a gain of 4.
Well, we talked in the open. Brad Johnson's the #1 quarterback throwing under duress. Watch this guy. He will not go down. He always keeps looking for somebody. Everybody's all around him. He'll find somebody open. That's his 9th he's throwing to today.
And Carter was covered on that play, so he goes to his second option, the tight end. Second down. Leroy Horde. Nothing up the middle. Barry Minner saw to that as he plugs up the gap. That'll be 3rd and long for the Vikings, leading by a slim 2 points.
Well, Flanagan left the game earlier, and now he's back. And if Flanagan's in there, he's only going to play one way, and that's full speed. They tried to block back on him with Jeff Christie pull the guard. They were pulling Dave Dixon and trying to get the center to block back on him. Too quick, too fast. That's our 200-yard touchdown players still banging on each other.
3rd down and 6 from the 22-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings. Carter's in motion. Johnson will drop back to throw. Hit as he throws. Got the pass away. Completes it to Chris Carter, but short of a first down. He picked up 2 yards. Now it'll be 4th down and 5. And the Vikings.
We saw the blitz. We saw the man-to-man. We saw the quick slant. You're getting your money's worth today. This guy's free. He's coming. John Mangum, he's going to get the hit. The quick slant to Carter. He runs into a defensive linebacker who got pushed out by the guard, Brian Cox. Get to see it all today.
6 returning for Chicago, and back to the 30-yard line for the Bears. A 3-yard return after a 48-yard punt by Mitch Berger.
We surprised you. with the largest interior in the class, the biggest engine available, a remarkably long wheelbase, and the steering feel of a sports sedan. And then J.D. Power & Associates added one more surprise. They ranked Dakota most appealing compact pickup.
Dad, what's that?
Well,
Dad, it's a bear.
I'll check. Everything's fine. Would a nightlight help, son?
Every day, car batteries are...
Ha ha, Dad, very funny.
I rolled the dice for $8. I unloaded my Tonka for $12.
Get the lowest commissions possible with Ameritrade. Internet trade for $8, touch-tone trade for $12, or trade with a broker just $18 no matter how many shares you trade.
We went to Club Med for $18.
Plus, your first 5 trades are commission-free when you open an account. Call 1-800-592-7542 or visit our website. Ameritrade. Smartest way to trade, period.
Back at the Dome in Minneapolis, the Vikings lead the Chicago Bears 21-19 with Jerry Glanville. This is Kevin Harlan. Chicago will get it from their own 31. First down and 10 yards to go. Bobby Ingram, the starting wide receiver, is gone. Raymond Harris will be held out, they tell us, probably for the rest of the game. Bruised side. Handoff. Darnell Autry at the big hole. A first down. He's out to the 49-yard line. And the rookie from Northwestern, who picks up 18 with the career-high long.
Well, sit up in your living room. You be the linebacker. You try to tackle this guy. This is you. You try to get Autry down as he pops through. Nice pulling job by the guard. You're the safety. You got to make the tackle. Here he comes. Woo! Nice run.
You talked about him in the open.
Oh, I tell you what. I think if you play him, you may find out you got something better than what you thought.
Picked up by Williams. Handoff to Autry. Blocked by Carter. And he picks up 4 inside the 49. Ed McDaniel makes the stop on the rookie.
Well, Big Cat Williams picked up the blitz. You called it. You saw the blitz was going to blow that run up. And Big Cat got off the down lineman, crosses to his left, and cuts off the blitzer. It's the backside. That's Big Cat. Here comes Brady. Going to run in there and make the play. Not with Big Cat hanging on you. A nice job by Big Cat. You got to see all that. That's not his man. He just has to see all that as the ball's being snapped.
Second down, a short 7. Autry again. This time, the Vikings are all over him. Ed McDaniel.
Well, the Vikings walked the linebacker on the line of scrimmage to the open side, blitzed him, and blew up the play. So the Vikings aren't going to sit there and let you run on him. They're going to walk this guy up to this side. He's going to walk up here, and he's going to blitz, and he's going to blow that whole thing up. Here he comes. Ed McDaniel. Ed McDaniel, that's a story in itself. Playing like that after total knee reconstruction. Last year, had to have that whole knee rebuilt.
Kramer's done a pretty good job on third down today. Facing third down and 7 inside the 49-yard line of Minnesota. Here they come at him. He throws for a first down, caught by Ricky Prohl at the 37-yard line. His 8-catch, 13-yard gain. He was on the move, down by 2.
Well, I think the Vikings are missing what's going on here because Ricky Prohl can eat up a zone. You have to full press and play man. See all this zone? He'll sit in the hole. He'll sit in the pocket. You take a Ricky challenge his speed. If you let him run in the zone, he can win the football game.
8 for Prohl. And a big one right there. So from the 36 of Minnesota, Chicago first and 10. Darnell Autry stumbling to the 31. A gain of 6 on first down.
Watch Todd Berger. Todd Berger got a little shouting match last week with one of his own teammates because he wants to win. Todd Berger's the puller. He's got to pull this way and open it up for that young running back. There goes Todd Berger. There's the trap. Darnell Autry starting to look like he's back at Northwestern.
They played the Golden Gophers in this building when he was in college. So he's used to this environment. Second down, we'll call it 5 on the 31. Kramer Autry stuck, brought down. Ed McDaniel puts a tattoo on Autry.
Yeah, we talked about Ed McDaniel. We talked about that knee surgery. He wanted to go to knee surgery. He called Terry Allen, the running back for the Washington Redskins. He said, who did your knee surgery? Who should I count on? He said, Dr. David Fisher. Don't let anybody else operate on it. There's
Dr.
David
Fisher right there.
I'll tell you what, if I go to surgery, please call him up for me, will you? Will you get him to work on me?
There's Sheldon Burns right there. Not only their doctors for the Vikings, they're the two doctors for the NBA Minnesota Timberwolves. 3rd down and 6. 7th play of the Chicago drive. And Eric Kramer will burn his first time out of the second half. So he's got 2 left. A nervous Denny Green.
His face.
3rd and 6. Autry to the 25, and good for a Chicago first down. Robert Griffith finally got him.
What a call.
Cannot stop Autry.
What a call. 3rd and a mile here, and they give it to the young rookie across the formation. He's got to come all the way across the formation with Brady on the blitz. Big Cat getting him down on a blitz with Todd Perry, and Darnell Autry making the difference in the run. Man, I'm getting excited about that rookie. How about you?
He's out. Raymond Harris is in. First down for the Chicago Bears, trailing by 2. Under 6 to play. Harris brought down, smothered by 320-pound Jerry Ball.
And the Vikings again, you love what they do. They didn't sit back. They came after him. The blitz turned Ball loose because they had to pick up the backers. Talking about the Bears, had to pick up the backers blitzing. Autry back in.
Harris, who's been banged out all game and knocked out of this game twice, is back on the sideline. Autry is back in the game. And the Bears breaking huddle on the 9th play of this drive. It began back at the Chicago 31. 2nd down and 15. Kramer out of the pocket, throws a pass, caught by Ricky Prohl. That's number 9, and he's down to the 25-yard line, and he picks up 5. So it'll be 3rd and 10. Tackle made by Orlando Thomas.
Well, I'm watching the young rookie. The rookie running back has to pick up the blitz from the backside. There's 21. Went off your screen, but he did a good job. So when a rookie learns his assignments and then you get him into the play, then you can find out really how good they could be. I'm kind of impressed, aren't you?
Very. A terrific-looking drive orchestrated by Eric Kramer. 3rd down and 10 on the 25 of Minnesota. Autry with the draw play. Autry up the middle. Autry hit and brought down, drilled by Robert Griffith, shy of a first down by 3 yards. So they'll bring in Jagger and try to take the lead with 4 minutes and counting.
Well, he didn't get the first down, but he made an easier field goal. The last 5-6 weeks, he got a little quick, big shot by Griffith, keeps going. Nice, shorter field goal for him.
This will be a 36-yard attempt. Jagger has been perfect today and perfect all year. For the lead, high snap to Sauerbrunn. The kick is up, and the kick is good, and Chicago and Dave Wannstedt lead the first-place Minnesota Vikings with 3.5 minutes to play.
And you call the snap. Everybody's been mad at Sauerbrunn. This is a great placement of the ball. Watch Sauerbrunn on the high snap, reach up behind him, get it back down, put it on the spot, and he never looked up till the ball was gone. That's a great hold by the punter, who's, everybody's been mad at him, including you and me.
So in a game when 2 of his best defensive players are out, offensive weapons, well, new guys basically have had to emerge,
right,
like Darnell Autry, who gained 38 yards on that drive, and Ricky Prohl, he's got 8 receptions.
Well, Thury was playing so good and doing so many things in different defensive schemes. When Thury got hurt, that made them throw out a lot of their defensive packages. They had to come in and play more vanilla. And the vanilla, without all the packages, is throwing off Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson hadn't seen this much zone on any Bear film. So the injury of Thury made the Bears change the defense, and the change on the defense is thrown off Brad Johnson.
Kickoff by Jagger. Deep back is Mo Williams. He returned one last week for 74 yards. He gets this at the goal line. Mo Williams, knocked around like a pinball, is out near the 25-yard line for the Vikes. Clock is down to 3:19 left in the 19 with which to work. They trade. Well, the NFL's best fourth quarter quarterback has got his job ahead of him now. From the 25, out of the pocket, Roland Johnson throws a pass, and it's caught by the tight end, Andrew Glover. And the former Raider picks up 16. He's out for the 41.
He came back with the bootleg, and the point you made, the best fourth quarter quarterback. Also the quarterback, he's a basketball player. Played basketball at Florida State. He knows the last shot counts. I think that's why he's so good in these last-minute efforts. He's ready to go play NBA. Last shot goes in, his team wins.
Gordon Evans in the backfield for a 1st and 10. Good time. Dumps it off underneath, and it's caught by Leroy Horde, who races out of bounds, being chased by Barry Minner, and it's a gain of 8. They get 2nd down and 2. The clock stopped at 2.5 to play, and again the Vikings had their full complement of timeouts.
I was impressed with Horde's speed. You know, Leroy Horde is known as a banger, a guy that hits up in there and drags people. He was scooting around pretty good there. You can tell he's a little bit fresh, even with the 2 broken ribs he had.
Playing with a couple broken ribs, and that's got to be extremely painful.
You said he couldn't sneeze or cough. Well, luckily, he hadn't had to do either one of those yet.
2nd down, 2, and you can see fourth quarter comebacks this year by the Vikings, one of which made Chicago their victim. Johnson hit as he throws by Minner, throws a completed pass to Chris Carter, and they wipe it away incomplete. Had it, juggled it, and then Walt Harris was there to make sure he didn't catch it.
Now, if you're a Bear fan, sit up on your living room couch. In fact, stand up. The goal line for the Bears is the 35-yard line. This is the goal line because that's field goal range. A field goal beats you, so you watch him play, and they're blitzing and they're coming after him, and he's got to play tight coverage because you don't have to just stop the Vikings. You got to stop them before they get to the 35-yard line. So it's not a normal game anymore. The field for the Bears stops at the 35-yard line.
Down Chicago Bear, Paul Grasmanis being helped off. 2nd-year player from Notre Dame, and they're the best wide receiving tandem in the NFL, Reed and Carter. But today, a total of 84 yards and just a handful of catches between the 2 of them.
Well, and this is a tough job for the Bears. You got 3rd and short yardage, so zone gives up a 1st down. So you got to play this man-to-man and jump on them, so you can't throw a little short pass and get a 1st down. You got to try to get the ball away here. Here's the cubby. This here means I'm going against man-to-man. I'm picking you.
It's 3rd down and 2. The pitch out to David Palmer. He's got the 1st down. He's to the Chicago Bear 43-yard line.
Same play they got the 1st touchdown on. Identical play. The toss pitch to Palmer against the trips. Remember we said Chris Walsh washed everybody down on that. Here's Chris Walsh again, but they have a guy outside. 27, you got to pull the pin and fire. He does, gets picked up. They had to defend better, but same results. Good job by the Vikings.
Horde in the backfield. 1st down and 10 yards to go. Horde gets the call. Bouncing by the outstretched arms of Mark Thomas. He takes it down to the 35 and picks up 9. Chicago leading by 1. 2-minute warning. There is Eddie Murray. 9 game-winning kicks under his belt under his 17 seasons in the NFL.
And they're in his range, so now both teams are fighting to make the field goal either shorter or longer. What you're going to watch for the next minute and a half is how long do you want the field goal to be.
2nd down and 1. Leroy Horde gets the 1st down and takes it to the Chicago 32-yard line, picking up 3. Barry Minner brings him down, and timeout still left. The Vikings look to be in pretty good shape.
Well, I think if you're the Bears, you have to start thinking about calling timeout. So you got something left after, if they do make the field goal, you got a chance. So with the minute 34, I think the Bears now have to use their timeouts just in case the field goal goes through. You have a time left to come back and get a field goal yourself.
First and 10 for Johnson. Out of the pocket goes to Chris Carter. Walt Harris ushered him out of bounds. He's at the 26. It's a gain of 6 on first down.
And a great roll and throw by Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson just moving out to the right. Easy throw to the diagonal. Throwing to the slot, running to the flat, and they're playing for a shorter field goal. Watch him roll. Roll and throw. Nothing to it. It's Chris Carter on a little old slant. Going to the outside, a little diagonal or shoot they call it. And this is a shorter field goal. Now they're really feeling good about the field goal.
Vikings began this drive on their 25. Second down and 4. 8th play of the drive. On the Chicago 26. Pump fake by Johnson. Going to Carter. Knocked down. There's a flag. It'll be first and goal to go, Minnesota Vikings. It was called on Walt Harris, who was the victim in the first meeting this year in Chicago. Exploited by Johnson and the Vikings. They go to him again in a pressure situation.
Well, the double pump got him. Brad Johnson faked the pump. There's only one person in the route, by the way. There's only one guy going out for a pass, and that's Chris Carter. They went 2 tight ends, 2 backs. This double pump right there, there's nobody else out. It was once he pumped it, he turned up.
We have 2 fouls on the play. We have holding, number 27. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Number 27.
He had a hole to give up the touchdown. Walt Harris did the correct thing. If he did not do that, it would have been a touchdown. That was his only chance to win. Had to take the penalty.
And how ironic, it was Harris who was blistered, torched by Johnson and the Vikings in the first meeting, week 2.
But he was torched that time, Kevin, by playing off too far. 8-9 yards. He's playing full press, bump and run. Full press again for him. He is by himself.
First and goal from the 10. Evans breaking 1 tackle, 2 tackles, all the way to the 1-yard line, and a gain of 9. 250-pound Charles Evans with a move that plows under the Chicago defense and gives them second down and goal at the Chicago 1.
Well, I think the Vikings found a power runner. Evans is not a guy that usually gets to carry it. He starts to the right, cuts back right off of Stussey's block, and runs over half of the Bears there. Big, strong fullback, usually a blocker, getting a chance today to do some running because the loss of the tailbacks they had.
Vikings have used about 2.5 minutes on this drive. Got it second and goal at the 1. One with a second down and goal at the Chicago 1.
The last time these two played, Minnesota took the lead with 37 seconds. Now they're down to 56. And it's funny.
Call, and the Vikings go on top of Chicago. Even without Robert Smith, another rushing touchdown for Minnesota, and they're going to try for 2. Wisely. If they tried for just the extra point, it would be 28-22. Thus, the Bears could come down and get a touchdown. If they get 2 right here, it could be 29-22, forcing Chicago to get, at the very least, 7 points. Johnson on the 2-point drive. Wide open. Nope. Chris Carter caught it, but a flag was thrown on the play.
Somebody pushed somebody. Flag down. There was pushing in the end zone. The officials have to decide which team pushed who. He's calling holding. He's calling holding on the Bears, it looks like. Brian Cox, get out of there.
Holding. Number 20 is declined. 2 points. Extra conversion.
29-22, Minnesota catches the 2-point in the corner.
First play, we're going to show you the touchdown, which is a fullback smash over to the right side. Running behind Corey. That's a 2-point conversion, pardon me. You see the flag back inside. the touchdown, they ran the smash over the right side. Nobody around, just ran up through there right behind Corey Stringer. Look at that block by Corey Stringer for that touchdown. Great block. Great block by Corey Stringer for the touchdown.
.54 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Chicago has one timeout. Mitch Berger is set to kick off for the Minnesota Vikings, and deep back for the Chicago Bears, Tyrone Hughes. Berger with the boot. Hughes from the 5-yard line. It's the reverse handoff. And no place to run, no place to hide for young wide receiver Eric Smith down at the 12. The Bears have got to go a long way.
Okay, I'll be back on Tuesday. The number's on the fridge.
10 yards to go. Kramer hit as he throws and throws it out of the pocket and incomplete at the feet of wide receiver Eric Smith. And Fernando Smith came in on Kramer. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Too much pressure on the quarterback in this situation with just a 4-man rush. Came off the Bears' left side.
We'd like to welcome you watching Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Kramer being chased. Randall is on his heels. Kramer throwing down the middle, and it is no sign yet. Incomplete to Eric Smith.
Well, John Randall, we said earlier, may be the best defensive tackle in football. Watch this helicopter move. Watch what he does to Todd Berger instantly. This is John Randall. You talk about instant. Slap the arm down. Go right by Todd Berger. John Randall, the big-time players, make the plays when the game's on the line. And that's what John Randall is. As good a defensive tackle as there is in football.
Bears were down 21-10, came back to take a 22-21 lead. Vikings just went in. Now Chicago has it. 3rd down and 10. Kramer is sacked. Dwayne Clemens, the second-year player and a former first-round pick out of Cal. He had 2 sacks last week in the Vikings win over New England.
Timeout.
And
Chicago.
he has a sack today against Eric Kramer.
You'll see a stunt. You'll see a stunt to the outside. And the Bears got lost in their man-to-man switch-off.
Here's the go-ahead touchdown by the Minnesota Vikings and a great drive, and Leroy Horde brings it in. And that put the Vikings on top. They got a 2-point conversion following that. They lead it 29-22.
That run looks so easy, and you got to say Corey Stringer, although he gained a little weight, he made the big block. Allowed him to score the touchdown.
Tough day for Dave Wannstedt. His Bears came into today 1-8. They played against Green Bay so well a couple weeks ago. Beat Miami in overtime. Then blew a tire last week against the Redskins. Came in here having won 3 consecutive games in the Dome against these Vikings. Minnesota's a different team right now. They got a good quarterback, number 6 overall in the NFL. And they're tied for first place and trying to hold on to a tie for first place. 4th and 13. This is the ball game for Kramer. Great time. Throws. It's caught, but the kid didn't get the first down. Fabian Bones, who came off the practice squad. He's been cut twice by Chicago. And he only had the length of the football to go, and frustration on Brian Cox and the Chicago Bears, who are going to give this one to the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, that's game awareness. This is 4th down. This is your last shot. Don't worry about getting out of bounds. Go get the first down first. Just a mistake. Well, that shocked everybody. Eric Kramer, Dwayne Washington in the corner was shocked. And Fabian will be shocked when he sees it on the film.
So the Minnesota Vikings will win their 6th consecutive game. The last time they won 6 in a row, 1976, when they went to the Super Bowl. The Vikings now go to 8-2. And that as well is the best start since 1976. And the Vikings put an exclamation point on their 3rd, 4th quarter comeback to win this year, beating Chicago and coach Dave Wanstead 29-22. This is the best 10-game record since the 76 season, which was a Super Bowl year for the Minnesota Vikings. Now the Energizer play of the game, which was the go-ahead touchdown by the Vikings on a drive, Jerry, in the 4th quarter when they needed a scoring drive.
And it was a simple handoff with a crushing block by a couple of people. Not only the tackle, Corey Stringer, but the tight end also helped him, Andrew Glover. Good block by Glover and Corey Stringer for the touchdown.
NASDAQ stock market postgame coming up here. The Vikings win it 29-22. You've been watching Fox Sports coverage of the NFL.
Michael Jordan. The only thing I regret about coming back into coaching is missing out on NFL.